Fans, did you know that there are more than 100 beers in America? Oh, yes. Marching past in a great, vast, fantastic line of... Yeah, I can see them now. Dum, dum, dum.
Well, just in case you guessed, this is the case. Okay, the first thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the logs and charts door and cover and remove this booklet here. This was actually in here where I got this radio and has nothing to do with anything. It's basically, it was part of a Zenith brochure with early FM. I don't know if I'm going to leave that in there or try to take that out. But we'll remove this so we can clean it and get the plastic all cleaned up. So let me show you how that's going to work. Alright, it's always a good idea to have a container such as this, or whatever container you choose. I think this is from a couple weeks ago when we had some wonton soup in there from a local Chinese restaurant. So we just washed it out. We're going to put our screws and miscellaneous hardware in here. So let me show you what's involved with this. Now to get this off, here, let me see if I can get the light a little bit better here. There we go. Get this off, simply pull down the door, okay, and the book hopefully will come down like this. And we have a total of 6 Phillips head screws we need to remove, so let's get them off. Okay, I had to stop the camera for a second because it was really hung up on these two clips up here. Okay, and I could feel that the case feels kind of sticky up here. So I think that maybe at one time a soft drink or something was spilled on here, and it was just a little bit tough. I needed two hands to get it off. Let me show you. See, here it is. And I was able to, let me show you what the back looks like right there. Okay, so you see right there, there's a spot right there and a spot right there, and that's where those clips kind of go into that thing to hold it in place. So anyhow, we got that off, so that's done. Okay, I actually received a few emails on this, so what I'm going to do now is that on this particular radio, I hadn't planned on removing the brasswork and polishing it and then clearing it with clear lacquer. I did that on the H500 radio that I did last year, but I didn't really plan on doing this one. However, I did receive a couple emails from people that wanted to see how do you get the latch off the front door without having to do any damage or anything like that. So I actually have an extra parts radio that I have here. And we'll take that one and I'll show you how to get that one off, if you want to do that. Okay, here is the parts carcass that was, this is also an L600 that was generously given to me from one of my friends. And believe me, it's a parts carcass. It's really rough, and there's no needle. I can't even turn this thing, and another rusted chassis, but there's a lot of good usable parts on here. So I will remove this door, and just like we did before, and I'll show you how to get the latch off. Now here is a picture of what a latch looks like from the back or from removed from the radio. And as you can see, that what you have here, there's an upper latch and a bottom portion of the latch, and all four screws are actually the same. They're basically they're taper headed, and there's Phillips on top. So basically, to get this one off, we're going to have to take and remove some of the stag out of the way to get to the screws. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, what you want to do is to get basically a blade similar to what I have here. Be very careful because there's really sharp edges on here, and you can cut yourself pretty good. And what I want to do is I want to separate the stag from the wood that it's glued onto, and basically this has been on here for 60 years or so, and it's all dried up. So what you want to do is, the screws are probably about here and about here, and what we're going to need to do is just pull this stag away. And what I like to do is try to get find a spot where it's a little bit loose. So you see how I got the blade inside the stag, and then just carefully work the stag away from the wood. And this is kind of tedious work, but this is what has to be done if you want to, get the stag away so it gets some access to the screw arm. Right now I'm using the dull side of the blade to actually, once I've got it separated, I use that to kind of help to push that away, like so. Okay, so just keep doing just a little at a time, and it takes some time. Now with the blade, I've been able to kind of get in behind between the stag and the wood and cut off some of the glue, and I've got just enough here that I could probably fold over the stag and get a screwdriver to these now. Now, invariably you could tear this thing apart or tear it in half or whatever, but once you glue it back up, you could use like a wood glue, or if you have DuPont number 7 adhesive or one of them. And then what we'll do is we're going to basically buff this out with boot polish anyway. Then we can get that off. So let me get this out, get the latch, this half of the latch off. Okay, off camera I just undid the 2 screws, and the latch came right out. There it is. So now you could easily polish that up, make that real nice and shiny, and then again, what Zenith did was they would go over with clear lacquer after they polished it, and it would really look like brand new. And the lower half of the latch comes off rather easy. You could go in through the battery compartment, and there are 2 similar screws back behind here. And this guy will come off real easy. So hopefully that will answer those questions. I want to take off the broadcast wave magnet, and there's just a lot of dirt and dust and nastiness in here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to just remove this piece as well, so it'll help us to clean things better. As well as we'll remove the handle, and we'll take off the shortwave antenna. There's only 2 screws holding the handle down. There's a number of screws holding this guy in. Okay, and then in the back, here, let me turn this around so everybody can see. We have 2 nuts there holding in the shortwave wave rod antenna, so we'll just take that off as well. Next, I think I'm just going to remove this cord reel cover. It's only on there with 3 screws. There it is. Alright, for this radio, I think this is about as much as I'm going to take off here. I mean, you could invariably do more if you want to. Like, for example, if you wanted to take this piece off, the advantage of taking this piece off is it allows you to get in these little channels on the side, so when you go to where you close this on here, you can see where the hinge, the metal for the hinge door goes, but that always seems to collect a lot of dust. Now I can go in there with a Q-tip and pull that out, but if you really wanted to clean that off, this piece is only on with screws as well, but you also need to remove the lid. There's actually pieces here. Let me see if I can get the camera in here so you can see a little better. Get a little more light. Okay, so there's actually 2 screws on either side of the hinge. There's 2 here, and 1 here and here. And you can remove them and remove the top lid as well, but the problem with that is, and if you've never done one of these before, if you decide to do that, then what's going to happen is you're going to have to reline this up so that when you close it like I have here, then it aligns. Oops, you can see that very well. Here, let me do that again. Open this up here, you go to close it, and basically it's almost like gaps in car doors and fenders. All your gaps be even, and particularly the latch, you want to be able to latch properly. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this over to the slop sink and clean it. Okay, now we got the case all wiped down. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to take this piece and hit this with a sponge as well. This is the base where the wave magnet sits on top of when it's in the radio. I washed this off, and now it's clean, but I see also there's going to be a little bit of some paint loss on here. And apparently some paint came off here where it said the word wave magnet on top of here. But we could work that out, and we'll do that in the next installment. And for now, we'll just let it's clean, and we'll just let it sit and dry. Okay, boys and girls, I think that's going to be it for today. And I'll part of my bench behind the camera that you can't see got bumped a little bit. Okay, there we go. So next time around, I think what we're going to do is we'll start cleaning and detailing all the plastic parts. And we'll just take it from there. We may get to buffing up the cabinet, but right now it's a little bit damp from cleaning, so we're just going to let it sit and dry, and then we'll just take it from there. And by the way, I hope everybody has a very happy Thanksgiving for you and your family out there. I know that I have a lot to be grateful for, and one of the things I'm definitely grateful for is everybody out there that watches my channel and subscribes. So without you, I couldn't be, I couldn't have 1,800 subscribers. I forgot how many subscribers I have. It's not a lot, big number, but it's still I think a pretty good size. So thanks for watching, and take care. Bye. Berwin, help me put some insulation on the wire. Come on now, stop playing with it. You gotta put it on the wire. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? Here it is.